You know, I dislike overnight lending when it's less than 5%. Now, let's say it's 5%. Yes. Divided by 261. Yes. Divided by 2. Ooch, equals, 0.0095. Yeah. Now, times 261. Yeah. Look at this, 2.4999998%. It's almost 2.5%. Now it's the, ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's say that the United States Treasury was at 5%. Yes, I had mentioned a little bank that I wanted to start called Just a Bank. Yes, it's just a bank, but you put 50% of the actual deposits in U.S. Treasuries. Yes, you could ladder them if you wanted to, or you could put them in 5, 10, and 30-year Treasuries. Yes, and then you could have half your deposits in Treasuries, and about 30% of your deposits in just assets that are investable in short-term securities, right? Money markets. You know, a lot of banks offer money markets if you didn't know that. When you go through all the FDIC insured accounts, yes, find out which of them have checking accounts where they don't really pay much interest, yeah, and then which of them have savings accounts where they might pay 0.25%, yeah, and then which of them have money market accounts where you could put some money away in a money market. Oh. Now, I would say 50% of the deposit needs to be secured by the United States Treasury. I thought as a nation we should be buying our own debt. Now, it looks to me, okay, that there is some, well, defrauding of consumers, some sort of illegal activities, a kind of Ponzi scheme. Yes. I told you about that word scheme yesterday. Yes. And then there's the online gaming. Yeah. Could you get me every website and every web page of all casinos that offer any sort of advertisement about their actual location? I just want to know the IP addresses of those that think that casinos should have fair gaming. Yes. And then all the online gaming known as every place where you can place a bet. Search for BET. Now, let's say that you're just betting, okay? It's online, and there's a web page or a website, and you have an IP address, and you could use actual money, or maybe you can't. I don't know. But I'm going to want to know all the online gaming that involves the hypothetical, yes, theoretical, yes, or actual betting of any and all individuals where, well, I just want to know who they are. So just get me that for the last 20 years. Yes. And then there's this unlawful lending. Now it seems that the family has a weird way of lending. Yes. Instead of just filling out an application. Yes. Having good credit. Right. You get to borrow because of who you know or who your family is. Yes. My thought was at Just a Bank that we would lend to those, right, who want to keep their mortgage in the actual community where the borrowing happens. It's kind of a 1950s concept where you lend where your borrower lives and then you keep the loan in the portfolio. So it's a concept called fractional reserve lending. Now, in fact, at one point the bank stopped keeping track of consumer complaints. Yes, there's been some consumer complaints. Illustrating its willingness to overlook fraudulent activity. It seems that police, sheriffs, justices, and judges have been willing to overlook the fraudulent activity of issuing protection orders where I have not gotten notice or opportunity. I know you have a gaming license, and Every nation of the world, right. And you have a website that has web pages, yes. And you advertise the establishment where you can go to gamble, yes. Or you have a gaming website, yes, where you can actually game. Now, I'm wanting to know, okay, yes, that this overlooking of the fraud of using forgeries of ex officio Superior Court clerks, yes, and overlooking the fraudulent activities of refusing to allow me to speak to my sons, yes. I'm kind of thinking that this willingness to overlook fraud, yes, is causing me to get upset. Now, in return for knowingly facilitating fraud, Clallam County, yes, State of Washington, Jefferson County, Supreme Court of the State of Washington. Each and every Supreme Court in every state of the United States that is knowingly facilitating the fraud of issuing protection orders. I'm going to knowingly have you prosecuted and put in prison. Okay, okay, okay.